Hello, people out there. I had to say a few things as I magically pray for protection tonight for myself and for the meek of the world. For I always think about humanity. And as bad as things can be for me, there's always somebody who's got it worse. For instance, as our so called president singles out transgendered people who have hurt no one, whose lives are difficult because of discrimination, because of being in the wrong body, because of desiring to be with, say, a man when your body is a man but your soul is a woman, wanting something as simple as love and to be a housewife. Again, in my case, it has come out in endocrinology that I am more female than male, and things were done to me in my youth against my will to force me to live a certain way, and I have been abused by family all my life and disaccepted. And I have to say, shame on those in the Supreme Courts like Clarence Thomas, who knows what discrimination is and who allows there to be rights taken away from transgendered Americans. Do you ever think about the black transgendered Americans? My life may be bad, but I can't even fathom how much worse it is for a black person who is transgendered, who gets all kinds of discrimination, triple, quadrupled what I experience, I'm sure. 1,000 years of pain on top of being different and disaccepted even by your own people. That's gotta be horrible. And I'm not saying all black people are against transgender. I'm just saying you can find bigotry in any color, in any race, in all of humanity, as sad as that is. Which brings me to another point. I've evolved over the years. I don't like to have confrontations with anyone because someone who doesn't like me, no matter how nice I am to them, no matter how much I could argue with them, is ever going to like me or believe what I say. I told my family till I was blue in the face about my dreams and about what the Orange Man was going to do. How the Orange Man was an ally to Vladimir Putin, how the Orange Man would destroy democracy, how they were ruining not only my life, but their grandchildren's lives and their own lives, and they never believed me. But now they know that I was right. They see it happening in real time. You know, magic and shamanism has taught me a lot. It has taught me to be sad about something, even angry about something, but to keep it to myself, to deal with it at my altar, to pray to God and Goddess and archangels for a solution. And even if that prayer isn't answered, I've still done something. I've done something about how I feel, and it was harmless. And I've learned a lot from magic. And I know for a fact that I have dreams that come true. I know for a fact that I am told in my soul when something's going to happen and then it happens. And I'm not the only one in this whole world who has those experiences. I like to be peaceable. I like to be kind because people value kindness. They don't value hatred. And as I said, if someone doesn't like you, no matter how much you argue with them, no matter how much you try to be kind to them, all they will give you is betrayal, and they will never believe anything you say. These are the things I've learned in life. I don't condone violence. I do believe that we all should stand up for what is right and just, and we should call our senators, write our senators, and tell them how afraid we are, and ask them why we have a president that committed an insurrection, that we have a president that hung out with Jeffrey Epstein and 14-year-old minors that were forced to be prostitutes. And I have to wonder, what is the White House doing with those files? What are they changing? What are they hiding? They sure are going to a lot of links to show they have those files and that they're going to release them, but that's only after they've gotten a hold of them. What do the original files say? There is a plethora of women, and I don't judge this president, this orange devil, by what is said about him. I judge him by what he says and does. Magic has taught me that. He talks about grabbing women by their privates. He talks about how he wants to make love to his own daughter. He talks about how he wants to be a dictator. He expresses his hate for brown and black people. He expresses his hate for transgendered people. He could be making history, doing good things, stopping bigotry and prejudice, but instead he is self-absorbed, showing commercials taking over Gaza with a golden statue of himself. So this is where my judgments come from. And I have to wonder, will I be jailed for speaking my mind in a once free country? I don't worship Satan. I worship God. I worship Goddess. No man exists without woman. I don't care if you are a God over all humanity and over all gods and goddesses, you still have a mother. And I'd imagine she's very powerful herself. And I still say that it will be women that rise up against this devastation and evil we're all facing. It will be women that make the changes because men have had their shot. And all I see from men is chaos and disaster in this country. Bigotry and hate and suppression. Self-gratification and control. I have great respect for women. And I myself, whether you want to believe it or not, I am a woman. The doctor has told me so. And I always have been. And I have suffered a life without love. I have tried everything. But I have always walked with God. Because the devil hates humanity. Why would I ask the devil for anything? And when I cast a spell, I send evil away. I ask for protection. It doesn't cross my mind to harm people. That's not the answer. They should live. They should face karma. They should be stopped from hurting me and others. It's nonetheless powerful. But that's what magic teaches you, to be good, to be kind, to be methodical. I live with a crooked nose from being beaten and left from dead, and I woke up to people telling me I didn't have the right to prosecute that person because I am part of the LGBTQ community. I'm not a criminal. I have a heart. I care. I'm not perfect. No one is. I'm not a criminal. But we have one for a president. And it's terrifying. And I'm terrified because I have nightmares about nuclear holocaust. I have nightmares about concentration camps where I am killed, where people like me are killed. And I see a person right now who is personifying the devil, who will hurt people, who has no soul. And I see a Republican Party who support this. And who do they want to cut? They want to cut Medicaid. They want to cut Social Security. These are programs that we worked for and paid for. It is not welfare. It is not entitlements. The robot man gets $8 million a day for contracts from the U.S. That's welfare. And the president didn't become rich by earning it. He inherited his money from his father. Everything I have, I worked for, I fought for. From the moment I was beaten and woke up in a pool of blood, I fought for justice. I went to court. I was treated like dirt by judges, shafted. But I continued to write people until I was heard. And all I could think in my mind is that if I didn't win, maybe I'm helping somebody else that this is going to happen to. Because again, I don't just think about me. I think about other people. That's pretty much all I wanted to say tonight. I've earned what I have. I did sing and raise money for infants with AIDS, for veterans who needed a kidney. I donated books I wrote to raise money for children's hospitals, not to be read in children's hospitals, but to be auctioned off to give money to hospitals that help children with cancer, because my books are very horror oriented. I grew up watching horror movies with my father, who has passed away, and I realized no one loved me like my father did. No one stood up for me like my father did. Now, in the past, my father was a hard man, but in later years, like many of us, he turned his life around. He understood, he saw what I was going through, and he never realized what it was like till he lived with me. He saw how I hurt over my ex. He saw how I broke my knees to my chest and cried, and he saw how much love meant to me that I could never have because of the cruelty of mankind. I'm a woman. I'm in need of companionship of a man my age. But I don't get it because people are cruel, like our current president. He is not my president. He will never be my president. And I fear that we will never get our freedom and democracy back, but I do see women rising up. And if they do that, there's a good chance we will get it back. Because like I said, men has had their shot and they've blown it. Woman power.